welcome to this month's tutorial that is Pop Around the Plate. And it's a gorgeous coaster design made by my dear friend Alexandra Eliasson of Virk, also known as. And even though she has resigned her hooks for needles, she's a knitter now, she has gracefully given us the possibility to use her gorgeous pattern for this tutorial. And she has posted it up on her Ravelry. You can find the links below in the info box. And yeah, this is a really versatile pattern. You can do them with popcorns, you can do them with bobbles, you can do them with puff stitches. Whatever you want to do for an outer textured round, you can use. And also you can change the size of this center place to match your cups perfectly. It's a really easily adaptable pattern, as I will share with you going through this tutorial. So grab your yarns and hooks and meet me up for the materials. Or don't grab it before you know what to use. But see you in a bit. To make this pattern, all you need is some yarn, a hook that goes with it, a scissor, a needle that fits, and also a little stitch marker to help you on the way. You can use whatever yarn you want, whatever size. It's really adaptable pattern. I have used Yarn and Colors Super Must Have, which is 100% mercerized cotton, and I'm using a 6mm hook for it. And this is the gorgeous color Jade Gravel. And so you can use whatever kind of yarn. As I said, this one I have used 43 grams of. And if you're using a thinner one like Alexandra used for this one, you will only need 17 grams. So it really depends on what kind of yarn you are using, but a small amount nonetheless. So yeah, grab your tools and yarn of choice and meet me up for the very first round. We start with a magic circle. Could be a little bit tricky with thicker yarns, but just take it slow and loose and you'll get there. There we go. And now we will work 6 single crochets into this circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So simply pull out your yarn end, get it to the back, through the ring down, and tighten. There we go. And now I simply slip stitching. Now we don't even have to slip stitch. We can actually just continue on here. So let's do that. Let's get into round number 2 instantly. So we are going to make single increases in each stitch. So I'm just doing 1 and 2, and here you can use a stitch marker to mark the very first stitch. Okay, I should have been prepared. I had to find myself a stitch marker. So just put it into the first stitch to know where to stop. So we are doing this single crochet increase in all the stitches around. So let's just go and make the next 2 and the next 2. Now we're up to 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, and finally 12. Okay, so this easy is how we begin. Really easy, really simple. So finish that and meet me up for round number 3. Okay, so for round number 3, we are simply going to work in the back loops. From here on out, just work in the back loops. And I'm not going into the third loop as I usually do, because you want it to be a little bit airy and gappy, but if you rather want it really tight, just go through that and that section, okay? So we are just going to do a single crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet increase in the next. So 2 single crochets in here. And here again you can always use your little stitch marker to know where to stop. So single crochet in the next, back loop only, 2 single crochets in the next, also back loops only. So just keep this going, 1 single crochet in the back loops, 2 single crochets in the back loop. And this will take you to 18 stitches in total for round number 3. Really easy and calming. And this creates a really beautiful pattern. I will show you. 17 and 18. And the marker says to stop. Do you see? Because we are leaving the front loops open, non-worked in, and just continue in a spiral, we are going to get this beautiful pattern. So I will join you for round number 4 too, and then you're on your own, okay? Until the texture parts. So finish this one and meet me up for round number 4. Okay, so for round number 4 we are not doing something really crazy. We are just continuing working in the back loops, but we are now doing 1 single crochet in one stitch and another in the other, and then we are doing the increase. So 1 and 2. Gonna keep on using my stitch marker here. So single crochet in the next 2 stitches in the back loops, 1, 2, and then increase in the next back loop. So this is the pattern throughout. Single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 in the next, single crochet in the next 2 back loops, having a pulling war with my skein. There we go, 1, 2, and then just keep on doing this, and you should end up with 24 stitches. And the final increase. Okay, so you can tell the gorgeous pattern is just creating here. Absolutely beautiful. And so this is all you will do for the next coming rounds up until round number 7. So you will keep on working in a spiral, just doing, for the next round you are going to do 3 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, then increase, and then 4 single crochets, increase, 5 single crochets, increase, and that is where we stop, okay? So do that and meet me up for round number 7. And so, okay, I just realized that by working only in the back loop and not the third loop too, mine came out a lot bigger than the original pattern. So maybe you could even just work up to 4 single crochets to increase, which is round number, I'm gonna check, round number 6 in the pattern if you're working with this thicker kind of yarn. This center is about, let's see, this center is 10 centimeters, approximately 9, and this one is already almost 11. And I know that for my smaller ones they are centered at 9 centimeters. So depending on what yarn you're using, and depending if you're working in the back loop and third loop, or just the back loop, you can change the number of rows you are doing. And it won't affect the other rounds, the outer rounds. The only thing that is that if you're doing more rows, you will of course do more popcorns around. And if you are doing less rounds, you are doing fewer popcorns around, okay? So that is really everything to it. I think I will maybe frog down so it's the same size. So I'll do that and I'll meet you back. I'm sorry. Hi again. Okay, so I have frogged all the way back to round number 5, which is 3 single crochets and then a single crochet increase. This one is more the right size. I think mine measures, not trying to measure the big loops, but 7, almost 8 centimeters. And we will now do a simple single crochet round around, which will give it a little bit more height, and I will meet the same measure as when I worked in both back loop and third loop. So you do what you want to. It will not affect the pattern. It just depends on how big placemat you want for your cup. Okay, so no worries if you have it like this. You can do it like this. It's no problem. This is part of the creative process. So to begin, we are simply going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch around. And for me, who has frogged back, I only have to do 30. If you are doing the smaller sized yarn, you might be up to round number 9, which is 54 single crochets, okay? So just go ahead and work single crochets all the way around in both loops this time. So we are creating this kind of thicker base to place our texture in, okay? So I will just take my trustworthy little stitch marker. There we go. So much easier when you don't have to count continuously in the head. Even though I actually do that, but it just helps me to trust myself more. So we are just working 1 single crochet in each and every stitch through both loops to create a good edge. And don't worry if it's not all circular, if it's a little bit like lined. It's supposed to be that, otherwise you have to spread out the increases throughout the pattern. Not doing the increase on the exactly same side, but this one is supposed to be so don't you worry. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous, not completely circled coaster. And the popcorn round, or the bubbles, if you choose to do them, will make it even more rounder looking. So there we go. So the base is finished, and we are now going to move over to the texture part, and I will show you both the popcorn and the bubble. So to begin the next round, we are simply going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and here is where you have to choose. Either you continue on and do the popcorns like this one, or you go for the flatter stitch, which is the bubble. And it doesn't matter which one you choose, both are gorgeous. And I will start with showing the bubble, and then I will carry on doing the popcorn rounds. It works in exactly the same way, it's just choosing which stitch to alter in here, okay? So to do the bubble, you either start by chaining 2 or 3 to get the height of a DC, and then work 5 more double crochets together into the same stitch. I had to think now. I will do a standing stitch, so mine is a little bit different. So this is my first double crochet, which will be a chain for you if you choose that. Then I do 2, never finish them, 3, 4, 5, and depending on what yarn you are using, and 6. This could be adapted to how many you want to use. For the thinner pattern, she has used 6 double crochets together. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops, okay? And close with a chain. So this is a bubble. She has used 6. I think you could do that for this thicker kind of yarn too. And then you would go ahead and do a double crochet into the next. So this is what it looks like. So I will show you a few more. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Don't go ahead of yourself. 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on your hook. Easy way to check that you have enough. Yarn over and pull through all. I just tilt my hook and pull it backwards, as you can tell, to make it smooth, and then just close with a chain. That is part of the stitch. And then you do a double crochet in the next. Okay, so the repeat is a puff, no, sorry, a bubble, double crochet, bubble, double crochet, all the way around. And you can of course switch this for puffs too. This is such a versatile pattern. Just play around and have fun with it. When we are doing the next round, we will be placing a double crochet into here, and that you will do into the closing chain and not on the side, okay? So remember that, and then you are doing the next bubble up here, and so on and so on. But I will show you that with popcorns, okay? So I'm gonna frog this and get back to you. See you soon. So to do the popcorn version, you simply slip stitch into the first stitch of the round, and then raise and do a fake double crochet or chaining 2 or 3. That will be your first double crochet, okay? And then you just go back in and make 3 more. So 4 double crochets into the same stitch in total. Just love popcorns. They're so cute. Drop the loop from the hook. You can raise it a little bit so you don't lose it entirely. And go through the first stitch, which will be your chain 2 or 3 if you're doing chains. And then grab the loop again and pull through. And chain 1 to close. This counts as part of the popcorn and not as a stitch on its own, okay? In the next stitch, you will make a double crochet. And that is how simple this pattern is. It's really fun, really relaxing. So you do a popcorn in one stitch and a double crochet in the next. So I will do a few more with you for this round. So no matter how many rounds you have done, just repeat this pattern. Popcorn in one, a double crochet in the next. Or a puff in one and a double crochet in the next. Or a bobble and a double crochet. I think you get the drift. Really relaxing. So a double crochet in the next. And then a popcorn. So 4 double crochets into the same stitch. Dropping the loop, go back to the first, and here it's really easy, I can tell, to go into the double crochet prior to the popcorn. So just double check that you are going into the 4th and not into the 5th here, because that one is a stitch on its own, okay? So just pull through and close with a chain, and then work a double crochet in the next. So I'll do one more with you. So 4 popcorns, 4 double crochets into the next. I jinxed it. I should have stopped at the last repeat. So 4 double crochets, dropping the loop, catching number 4, the first one, into the same stitch. Grab the loop, pull it through, and close with a chain. And then a double crochet. So keep on this all the way around and meet me up here to finish off, okay? Or not to finish off, but to close the round. Stitch, like that. And what we are doing now, it's just so cute already, is that we are going to work a slip stitch into the popcorn. So just go down the center, right in the middle of it. As you can tell, right in the center you have all the 3 stitches here and the 4th here of the popcorn. So just work a slip stitch. And that's it for this round. So for round number 2 of the texture part, we are going to start off with a double crochet. I will do a standing one, but you can chain 2 or 3 as the height of your double crochets. So just put it there, and then into the double crochet here we are working our popcorn. So this time the repeat is exactly as the before, but you have mirrored it. So instead of beginning with a popcorn, you are beginning with a double crochet, placing the popcorns in the double crochets and the double crochets into the popcorns. Simple as that, no increases, no nothing, just the same. So into the stitch, always a little bit tricky to do through the camera. Blaming the camera. There we go. And the popcorn in the next. And here is if you're working puffs or bubbles, just go into the stitch and do the same. So into the stitch, the textured stitch, you are working the double crochet, and into the double crochet you are working your textured one. So this is all we are going to do, just finding the center and working a double crochet. So do that all the way around. I will just finish this repeat. 2, 3 and 4. Again, make sure that you are going through the first of the double crochets here and not accidentally the one that is placed into the textured stitch, okay? So this is how it will look. It's like a little line coming up from the popcorns gorgeously, and it just overlaps like this. So keep on doing that and meet me up for the final round, okay? So what are we supposed to do now, you might wonder? Well, we are going to continue on with this pattern that is a textured stitch goes into a double crochet, and the double crochet goes into a textured stitch. So start off with a standing stitch or a chain 2 or 3 start and work your first popcorn, bubble or puff. 2, 3 and 4. And just go through the first stitch or the top chain to grab the yarn and pull through. I made mine a little tight, but it worked, and chain 1 to close. And now, surprise, surprise, we are going back into the popcorn. The next popcorn we are not going back into, we are going into the popcorn and making a double crochet. And just repeating this all the way around again. So no increases, no nothing, just the same amount of popcorns and double crochets as prior. And it will be gorgeous. Hi again! So I have done my final stitch, and mine looks a little bit like a bowl at the moment. But I'm listening to my own advice and I will not worry, because this will be fixed in just 2 seconds, okay? Or a little bit more, but what you will do to end is simply to slip stitch into the center of the popcorn again. I will do so rather than an invisible join because I think, oh, went wrong. I think it will be a sturdier finish. There we go. Than just doing an invisible join. So let's just cut the yarn. And just taking a little needle. I have sheeted, so I have already joined my starting yarn. I just went through some stitches here in the back. But what I will do is just going back down into the popcorn. Always go for the place on the round where there is most texture, because then it's easier to hide. and also it gets a better grip, so it will be sturdier. So just do that back and forth a few times. The good thing about cotton is that it's washable. I don't wash mine so often, but they are able to be washed, and since this is going to be used a lot with tea, I have a lot of stains on mine right now, but you want to be able to wash them and keep them pretty. So there we go. Brush it over a little bit, and then you have hide your ends really well. So let's make this flat. It's amazing. They are so big that they almost don't fit the screen. Well, how do we go from this to this, you might wonder. So my easiest way is simply to push down the bottom, then pulling on your work outwards like this. Just give it a bit of a tug. If you have fastened off your ends properly, it will be absolutely fine. So you can just do this and keep it that way, or you can get something heavy and place in the middle. I use a water bottle kind of thing and just keep it there over the night. You can also spray it with water and pin it out if you really want it all the way out. But for this one, all I did was placing something heavy in the middle and stretch it, and it works absolutely fine. So it's a matter of taste. This is almost flat now, so just go ahead and tug on it a bit and it will sort itself out. But here you can tell the difference just in the round, the number of rounds you're using, how the feel of the popcorn will end up, and also the feel of the base pattern. So this is definitely a softer textured kind, and this one is definitely more flat. So, or not flat, compact is the right word. So whatever you want to use, you can. I think the result is lovely either way. So I hope you have had a really lovely time. I hope you are popping by Alexandra on her account and say hi. Just gather my different ones. This one has tea stains on it because I'm using it. That's how much I love them. I have tea stains on mine. Yeah, and the other ones are still in the house. So with that, I wish you a lovely day. Thank you so much, Alexandra, for sharing your beautiful pattern with us. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up, and meet me up for next time.